Good morning. How's it going? So we have guests at home and we are exploring Munich since yesterday, and good for us as well, Tanya and I, because we were also lazing like a bum at home since several weeks and not trying to be brave in this winter. So winter has become a little more extreme in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, what I meant to share today was I'm very pumped after my interview with Senthil this morning. Now Senthil came across as a very smart entrepreneur. He is building the world's first movie NFT. So he's movie NFT marketplace, and it's called Oracle Movies, and this is one of its kind. He says it is world's first. I'm sure it should be. He has a great reputation. What was fascinating about Senthil's career trajectory was he did not have a formal degree. He did not do his engineering. He decided to begin his career as he started his career by starting a cafe, internet cafe, cyber cafe during 2002, 2003. And he told me how that turned out to be a blessing in disguise. So he's a serial entrepreneur today. He learned all the skills of the craft all by himself, and then he built a couple of successful software companies. First, it was software services companies that he was working for US clients, and then he turned into products. And today, he's in his latest avatar, he's building Oracle Movies, which is a marketplace for movies NFT. And what was insightful about his journey is, in spite of having no formal degree, he turned out to be one of the smartest persons that I've interviewed. And mind you, I interview a lot of successful entrepreneurs, and he is self-skilled and self-learned. And what I have 2 degrees. I have my engineering degree, and then I spent a lot of money to do my MBA degree as well from California State University, Sacramento. And after having those 2 degrees, I can confidently state that in today's world, the world that we are stepping into, in today's world, you don't need any formal degrees. And this is what Senthil said. When he built his cyber cafe, after talking to his dad, because his dad said, okay, I have money for his education. Do you want to do his engineering? He said no. He built a cyber cafe, and he said, just like working in a library gives you exposure to all the books in the library to read, similarly, he got exposure because he was managing his internet cafe. He got exposure to internet in 2003, which was again early days for internet penetration in India. And as a result, he could get access to all the wisdom around the world. At that time, I still remember we did not have a lot of access to internet. So it was a dial-up connection. I had a CFI CD, and then it would take several minutes to even make that TCP connection, and then the pages would load, and then you would get some value out of it. But because he was managing cyber cafe all by himself, he was able to maximize the value of internet then. He was part of several technical communities. He was part of the open source movement at that time. He was able to contribute to that movement. He was able to send email at that time. So email was still Linux and terminal based emails. And he was able to associate and correspond to people who were rare to get in touch with at that time. And he was telling all his experiences and how that led to one opportunity after another, and how he built his startups one after another. So it was then, but it is even more relevant today that formal education is not as valuable today as it used to be at least a decade ago. And I see this with experience as I meet people more and more as I read the trends in the industry, it is the only thing that you need is internet, is your ability to stay curious and focused on a set of skills or a set of topics, and then go all in and invest into self learning into these topics and become considerably good at something. Once you become considerably good at something, then you attract all opportunities. And mostly the opportunities today, today people say yes, education is good. If you have a tag from great universities, you get that ticket to people hearing you out. Say, if you have an idea, and if you're from Stanford or Harvard, or from India, if you are from IITs or IIMs, you get a ticket to attention from, say, investors or VCs, because your credentials, your education credentials, gives you that credibility, and you hear them out. But the other way to look at it is, even if you do not have credibility of a great brand, educational brand behind you, you can gain credibility by building something really cool all by yourself. And you can still, sometimes if you build really something great, you can still catch eyeballs from people that you need help from, say VCs or angel investors. And I have numerous examples of people who made that choice, a choice of not spending that money into an expensive education, and rather use that money to build enough capital to start their own startups. We live in a world where modern education is broken. The thing is, formal education cannot ever catch up with the pace of innovation, the pace of change that's happening in the world. And it's hard. So getting a formal education in the hope that that education will help you with the skills that are required to make yourself relevant in the marketplace is not going to work. And that's the reason education is also being disrupted. There are these startups that have stopped giving any credence to formal education, your degrees, okay? In fact, there are organizations, there are companies like Tesla's and the Googles who are offering courses relevant to what they want to hire. So they're only checking for your aptitude, and then they keep training you. So I still have people asking me, sometimes DMing me, that, Ravi, I want to learn this. What kind of certification should I take up? Or what kind of program should I enroll in? The point is, 90% of what we want to learn, and I'm talking about, say, skills like business or technology, is freely available, okay? Medical could be an exception. Medicine could be, because it is way too specific, it's a specialist role, and maybe barring a couple of other fields. But if it is related to business or technology, all the content is freely available. Internet is meant to be free. And as a result, you have all the wherewithal, all the resources to hunt for that information and bring it all together. Of course, you need some people to guide you through that journey. But if you are hoping that there is a program or there is a certification which will give you the skills, then that is a wrong way to approach. And Senthil is one such example. And many entrepreneurs that I collaborate with, that I talk to on my podcast, they all reveal the same thing. So they all have a common pattern. The common pattern is immense curiosity, drive to succeed, drive what they want to do in their lives, and a focus. So they pick a couple of things that are needed for them to succeed, and they learn all by themselves. Of course, they network a lot, so they build a support structure around them with mentors, with coaches, with people who are already proficient in that topic. So it is all about structuring your own learning ways to excel in the industry that you want to excel at. The point that I'm trying to make here is, we're living in a world where formal education is fast losing its relevance. I know it is difficult to embrace that concept, because for years we have given a lot of credit, a lot of respect to formal education. We respect degrees more than the individual's caliber and the individual's other skills Most also this comes mostly from a middle class mentality where we pay a lot of attention to formal educations and the certificates that you have gathered, because that is where we draw respect from. We draw respect from these degrees that we have attained. But you know what? Success can happen without these degrees. And as I said, I have lots and lots of examples around me. Thank you.